Okay, thank you everyone. I'll declare tonight's meeting of the Finance and Governance Committee of Georges River Council. Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Finance and Governance Committee of Georges River Council. I declare the meeting open at 6:03 p.m. I'd like to acknowledge the Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation, who are the traditional custodians of the lands, waters and sky in the Georges River area. I pay my respect to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who live, work and meet on these lands. Are there any apologies?
Just the councillor for Curra will be about 15 minutes late.
Councillor Chase will be 15 minutes late, and Councillor Jamieson is here as well, so hopefully she'll be joining us very shortly. So we don't need to move any apologies. Request to attend the meeting via audio-visual link. There were no requests to attend the meeting via audio-visual link. So we'll move to notice of live streaming of the committee meeting. Staff and public are reminded that the meeting is being recorded on audio tape for minute-taking purposes and is also being webcast live on Council's website, and this recording will be made available on Council's website. The code of meeting practice, the order of business is as shown in the agenda, which has been made available. Staff and public are reminded that this meeting is open and doors to the meeting room are to be left open unless the meeting moves into a closed confidential session, according to section 15 of the code of meeting practice. And Council's code of meeting practice prohibits the electronic recording of meetings without the express permission of Council. Mobile phones must be turned to silent during the meeting. Disclosures of interest. Councillors, does anyone have any disclosures of interest to declare? No? Okay, we'll move to public participation on items on the agenda, and there are no registered speakers tonight. So we will move to the first item on the business paper, which is the confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting, FIN 011-23, confirmation of the minutes of the previous meeting held on the 13th of March 2023.
I'll move that, Madam Chair.
Councillor Simonton and Councillor Marnie has seconded that. Councillors, any questions or comments on the minutes of the previous meeting? If not, we'll move that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Declare that carried. Moving to the committee reports. First one is FIN 012-23. It is the investment report as at the 28th of February 2023. I have a mover and seconder, councillors. Councillor Marnie, thank you.
I'll second that.
Councillor Simonton has seconded it. Thank you. Councillors, are there any questions on the investment report? No questions. In that case, we'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Say aye. All those against? I'll declare that carried. Next item, FIN 013-23, the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee minutes of the meeting held on the 9th of December 2022. Can I have a mover and seconder, councillors? Councillor Marnie and Councillor Simonton. Thank you. Councillors, any questions on the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee report? No questions. Okay, we'll put the motion. All those in favour, say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Declare it carried. Next item is FIN 014-23. It's the 2022-23 half-yearly progress report for quarter ending 31 December 2022.
I'll move that, Madam Chair, and I have a couple of questions.
Okay, Councillor Simonton, can I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
The mayor has seconded that. And Councillor Simonton.
For you, Madam Chair, to, I think, maybe Mr. Morabito. It's about the, there was an issue with the sensory garden being installed due to a problem with rendering.
So what page was that?
That's on page 35.
That's the sensory garden at the library.
Yeah, that's right. Sensory garden.
That
So
would,
whose report is that?
sorry, that wouldn't be,
No.
you'd have to take it on notice.
It's a
It was
driver.
to do with, wait, actually he might, sorry, he wouldn't have the paper in front of him potentially. Which item 3 point?
It's the second, it's the second item.
So establish and reading sensory garden to Hurstville
Yeah.
Library. Installation of the sensory garden is temporary on hold due to unsafe render on the residential tower above the courtyard. Council is working with Strata to resolve this issue to enable the installation to proceed. So we are, through you, Madam Chair, we are the commercial property on the Strata board, and we've also got the engineering team as well and a representative of community and culture to help work through those issues currently with the Strata committee.
I was just wondering if we could get maybe a like a time or an approximate
we can
time of
try.
how long that's going to
We
be?
can take that on notice.
And the second question is on page 36, and it's the 4.2 affordable and affordability housing options are available part.
Mhm.
And I just want to know, have we, in relation to investigating a scheme that applies across the whole LGA, have we gone to the department and with that request yet? I'm wondering if there's been a response to that.
I'll have to take that on notice.
I think the Director of Environment Planning would have to.
Yeah, sure, that'd be great. Thank you.
Can I just make a couple of comments? Councillor Simon was finished. I've noted through this whole delivery package that we've got, there have been a number of cuts from the program. No budget, well, for instance, if you go to page 8, commission drafting of plan of management and consequently engage planning consult to initiate DA to extend the event program at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium to include entertainment, cultural and community events, no budget allocation. And then it's also got further down, publicly exhibit plan of management, including propose again, no budget application. Netstrata Jubilee Stadium on next page 9. Management needs to, program of Netstrata Jubilee Stadium to include entertainment and cultural and community. Management needs to be in place prior to DA application to stage other than sporting events, no budget allocations. And then we go, keep going. We go to page 45. We go to page 45. Commence consultation of master plan for the Riverwood Local Centre. Again, council has 2 master plans, blah, 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 in place in Beverly Hills, Northdale, which we're actually discussing tonight, Beverly Hills. It was thought that Riverwood would commence in late 22, but due to further work required by council on draft Beverly Hills and Morthdale local master plans, we've got no budget allocations. And we can keep going through. There seems to be a lot of cuts in the areas that may help us bring in contributions, developer contributions like the Riverwood one, maybe the Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. Again, we can get some money there with regards to having certain activities there. Then I've got another one, page 68, conduct a service delivery review of venues and facilities. Scope of project being reviewed to fall within budget allocation. Look, I understand we've got a budget. Our Meet Your Ward councillors sessions have been put on hold pending future budget allocations.
Can I make a comment about that? It's just that like with Bayside, it's like there's not a big cost at all, or no cost. They just like go out with a couple of A-frames and the group of the ward councillors and they say designated spots and the residents come and meet them there on the street. So that's meet the ward councillors. So I think we could maybe do something that really costs nothing except councillors' time. So
Councillors' time would be all right. The problem is the budget allocation is having it on Saturdays or Saturdays up there. And we've got the directors present. That costs money. And I understand.
It doesn't cost you anything. It's the fact that there's staff from executive services that they're support the councillors and they are paid overtime if they attend. The directors, we're free on the weekend, so that's okay.
Right, look, we have the directors there.
we have a low
We have the directors there.
low cost.
If we can have the directors there, that should be all right. But I'm sort of thinking what Councillor Simonton is saying. Let's have it. As long as we've got a room to open up or.
No, I'm not saying on a room. I'm saying
outside.
at Bayside, they go to particular points. It's like state members have mobile offices and
Yeah,
they come and meet you. So near their home, they can walk out, go down the corner of the street and it kind of facilitates. It's better.
So we perhaps need to review the way we do meet the ward councillors so that.
Yeah,
it doesn't-
review the- yeah, so it doesn't require a budget requirement. There's kindly offer the directors to be there.
Maybe liaise with
You
the
know.
Bayside method with.
Yeah,
the
we'll see what
Senate
they
Authority.
do, and that doesn't cost us anything.
Well, perhaps councillors encourage you to perhaps make that notice of motion and
Okay.
yeah.
alright.
then they can.
Well, you can do that as a note. The issue that I have more than anything else, I think what we should be looking at There have been a lot of budget cuts, so we can't afford to do the feel-good things like, would be nice to do this or would be nice to do that. We've got to set those aside because we can't afford them, those feel-good sort of situations that may develop. But what I'd really like to look at is the ones, and I understand we've got to be sustainable, I understand we've got to be financially responsible, but the ones that could bring in money to us, so we're not relying on ratepayers all the time, we're not relying on grants, and we're not really, I think, could we just review those and see if there's anything we can do to keep them in there so that, so that we can, but anything that's feel-good moments, or, it's be lovely to have, a study on
Yeah.
birds and the bees.
Through you,
I think we just knock it out.
through you, Madam Chair. So when there is a cost and a income item, the departments are encouraged to budget both, so it would be a nil effect. Whereas when it is a cost, purely a cost implication, that's the ones we're struggling to absorb at the moment. But council have the option on the night to resolve to add things in or take things out and prioritise based on what they believe is the priority.
Well, can I just also add this? Yeah, sorry. As I was going to say, I think the new general manager has in mind to review some of those services on the basis of looking at what investment do we need to make, perhaps to generate income out of some of those services. So it's certainly on his radar, and perhaps if he was to provide you with a briefing, Nick, and Mayor, Mr. Mayor, provide you with a briefing on, not in a committee meeting, it's not, Mr. Mayor, that of the options that might be available for that area, but the acting director is correct. This is a process of the managers for those areas putting up an appropriate business case which says, if I spend 50,000 on this, it'll generate 110,000 in income, and that would be a very positive thing for our budget indeed. So yes, so we have to develop the business case to justify expenditure of the money so we get the return.
Well, the other thing too, of course, is that I'm hoping that the new general manager will deal with, and that is have a look at the services we provide. And if the services only deal with 3 or 4 or 5 people, get rid of them. They're
With the
It's
council,
costing us a lot of money for nothing.
the councillors.
Through you, Madam Chair, can I just ask the acting director a question? I'm still on Meet the Ward councillors, but so, with councillors, how we have the professional development, which I don't see anyone, it just sits, I think it's 3,000 for each councillor. Isn't that 3,000? So it's about $45,000. So if that's unused after, we go into the new budget year, does that just go back into consolidated funds?
No, it's just if we don't use it that year, it's gone for that year.
Use it or lose it.
Yes.
Use it or
through-
lose it.
Yeah, there is no carryover of operational budget.
That's a shame.
We would also encourage councillors to make use of that professional
I know.
development, so you're able to do your
The
job to the
NIDA is very
highest
good. NIDA is very
Yeah.
good.
So if you haven't used it, so it's once a week, we can have meet the ward, meet the councillor
Wow.
in May.
No, through you, Madam Chair, I think it is, you could put a notice of motion up.
It's all right. It's already done.
Calling for options of what could be some options that we look at this year to help fund if it is minimal, and also look at the ways that we can do it at a lower cost. as well.
Yeah, already ready.
Okay, councillors, any other questions on the half yearly progress report for the quarter ending 31 December 2022? If not, it was moved by councillor Symington and seconded by the mayor, and I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
All those against, declare it carried. We move to FIN 015-23 property matter, commercial property portfolio as at 31 December 2022. I have a mover and seconder, please, councillors.
I'll second this, but I have questions.
Mhm.
Commercial car parks, net result, the actual net result is 209,000. The net budget result is 454,000. We budgeted 454,000, and we've got a net deficit of 245,000 in the commercial car parks. And then we've outdoor furniture, advertising. The rest of them are not much of a deficit, and there's a couple of surpluses. and the footway trading is a deficit of 22,000. The one that worries me is the car parks. What's the cause of the 245,000 deficit?
Yep, so through you, Madam Chair, it was covered in the councillor briefing, though we're finding the volume of attendees that were anticipated when they're installed. We just haven't returned to that, like with business activity, it hasn't returned in terms of number of staff in the office as well. Remote working has definitely sort of lowered the number of transient people coming through. If Bernie, if you wanted to add anything on that?
Yeah, through the chair, the net position of the car park operation in isolation was $160,000 net profit. The reason why it's under is because it includes strata fees and other holding costs for those car parks. So when you add them all up, it brings us into that deficit position. But hopefully the aim is that with increased numbers, we'll get back to a cost neutral position.
Bernie, through the chair, we had problems with the car park over at opposite at the little hospital, the private hospital there. The car spaces were all over the place.
Waratah.
Waratah, yeah. The Waratah Hospital, the car spaces were all over the place. And for some reason, the Hurstville councillors at the time decided to allow these car spaces to be all over the place, which meant that we're paying the strata levies, or what do they call them? And our community is not getting the best benefit out of it. At one stage, we were talking about selling those spaces to what? It's gone, isn't it?
We have no interest in the Waratah.
Okay. Where did the money go?
I think it went into the commercial property reserve.
As per the council resolution.
Where is it? Sorry.
The commercial property reserve, as per the council resolution.
Fair enough. All right. So it's gone. Okay.
Can I just clarify? We're not actually making a loss on the car parks, just a loss of what, in terms of what was forecasted, what was budgeted to achieve.
The
We're
income,
making less than what we anticipated.
yeah, with the hybrid working arrangements
Yeah.
in place.
It's not making a loss.
Like I say, I
Yeah.
always have this argument with Danielle that, I want to just report on what the car park's doing by itself and not what, the holding costs such as strata fees, because they're quite exorbitant on all our properties where we share car parking infrastructure. So yeah, car parking on its own is profitable, but they're in buildings which do have high holding costs.
And through the chair, that would have been incorporated, all the new infrastructure with the gates and things, did that incorporated into?
That's not included.
No, it's not.
So through you, Madam Chair, that was the original investment that was made, and then, so that was the original capital cost, I think about 700,000.
Okay.
And ultimately as well, because we were paying strata fees at the time, it's a cost recovery and profit aim that we're aiming for. So overall, it's just not hitting where we aim to achieve from the budget, which has been revised in the 23-24 draft as well. But the decision to move to the commercial car parking and the target was done pre-COVID. So just aren't finding the centres are moving back to their pre-COVID numbers.
Same in the city.
Yes.
What do you think the impact would be? Because I've noticed that I'm just flagging this, we issued 147,196 free 2-hour tickets in pay and display in the McMahon Street, Tracy Street and Gloucester Road car park. If we reduce that by to 1 hour?
It's an option for council to consider. We can go and take that on notice and consider
Take that
that
on notice and see what happens.
Yeah, in the 23-24.
Okay, thank you. Because we've only got 1 hour free parking down at Cogra. Down in the heart of Cogra, the Cogra car park is 1 hour free.
The avenue is half an hour.
Half an hour in the avenue.
The older donuts, and if you can get in and out of there in half an hour, you're doing very well.
Yeah, half an hour. And all the access control are all half an hour, first half an hour free.
Yeah, but these ones have got 2 hours.
These are the upgrade
Yeah.
car parks, yeah. As you recall, they were 3 hour free before there was pay and display in there.
All right, well, just maybe we can do an investigation or a feasibility study on what would that mean. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions, councillors, on the property matter, commercial property portfolio as at 31 December? If not, it's been moved by councillor Niney, seconded by the mayor. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
All those against, carried. Next item, FIN 016-23, property matter, lease of airspace, outdoor terrace at Hurstville Plaza. If I could have a mover and a seconder, please, councillors.
I'll move that, Madam Chair.
Councillor Simon to that, and seconder, Councillor Jamieson. Thank you. Councillors, any questions on this item? Any questions? Okay,
Great for her school.
based on that, I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Declare that carried.
Thank you.
And I think that is the last item of business on the paper. And there being no other business on the agenda, I'll declare the meeting closed at 6:23 p.m. And thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.